Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to another edition of NBC's 10 Count. I'm Steve Fall. On today's episode, I am talking to Damian Priest. Damian, how you doing today?
Doing fantastic. How are you?
Oh, it's a beautiful morning where I am, and I'm talking to Damian Priest. Who could complain, right?
All right.
That's how I feel, at least. But let's talk about you, because that's what you're here for. Now, you went from oozing machismo to being this, executioner Punisher character for Edge. Has that transition been easy, or is that something you're just really enjoying the journey of discovering this new character?
I love what I'm doing. And people ask, what's harder, and I'm like, going out there smiling the way I was, and being overly nice was hard. This, for whatever reason, is just so easy.
Interesting.
Just being a bad guy. I love it. I love the energy. I don't know. This comes natural to me, especially being with somebody like Edge, who while we're friends now, but I idolize this guy. He's one of those guys for me, and somebody who I went to for advice and picked his brain, because of all his accomplishments, and now working alongside him. This is insane, So it's definitely one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. What I'm experiencing right now.
And it's got to be interesting because you just said, like, Edge is your guy. He's one of your favorites. And suddenly you're working alongside one of your idols, one of your favorites. What's that like?
Who does that? It's insane. Like, it's so cool. The fact that on any random day, like today, he probably later on today, he's going to call me and say, "Hey, I got some ideas. What do you think?" And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever you say, man." You're the guy, right?
Right.
He's so good at this. Like, people, obviously, it's the WWE, the best in the world are doing this here. Obviously, but then there's certain people that you work with, and I look at him and I see the way his mind works with his business, and it's like, man, like, I get it, we're all good at this, but you're really good.
Right.
He just grasps and has a different level of understanding, and it's to be at that level but still in it and competing. It's dangerous, because he's so good. Like, that's a dangerous, like, for positive, when it comes to him, who he is. So, I'm going to just try to absorb as much as I can while this is happening. But it's incredible. It's Edge.
Right.
I wake up every day and I'm like, I can't believe this is a thing.
I don't know. When you look at your phone and Edge calls you, you're probably like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's insane.
That's amazing. So WrestleMania Backlash is coming to Providence, Rhode Island at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. And people are going to be jam-packed in that arena watching this event. Now, what can fans expect when they attend a WWE live event, especially a premium live event?
I'm a sports fan, right? So I like going to events. And I always say, like, watching a sport on TV, it's cool.
Yeah.
But when you're there live, you feed off of energy, and that people there that are obviously going there to have a good time and cheer and boo, and it's contagious. It's a great feeling. Now you take that positive aspect of it and you combine it with every level of the entertainment business and any entertainment, and that you love. If you love the drama, you love the over the top spectacle, you love pyro with fireworks, you like just edge on your seat thrills and back and forth and every type of positive emotion you can think of. That's what WWE Live is. We give you everything and we leave nothing, So there's nothing like going to an event live and especially WWE is always, you never know what can happen while you're there. And it's always like, you want to say, I was there live for this. And I was there when this happened, because, and I feel like WWE does that consistently, which is wild. And it's like nothing else. It's really at Raw. Aside from my performance, I'm in the back watching and in awe with stuff and still enjoying it. And that's me who I see this, I'm there every week. So for a fan, when we come to your town, like it's one of those, like you don't want to miss this. Like you don't be on the outside because it's always the best time.
It certainly is the best time. I've gone to too many to count. I have to take my shoes off to start counting, but it's been too many, and always a great experience. Since 1992, I've been going live, so I've always been a fan. But WrestleMania Backlash, your man Edge is taking on AJ Styles. Does this match have the potential to be the show stealer?
Well, whenever you have Edge, yes, and then you put in AJ Styles, who I'm up there with that group of people saying that he's the best one doing it right now. You know, I'm on par with that, and I believe it. Being in the ring with him, you get to realize how good he is, and it's like you're the man. Like he's the guy. I have yet to wrestle somebody that I felt you're better than him. Like nobody's better than AJ Styles. Like, he's incredible. So with those two, easy money to bet. It's show stealer. It's a moment maker. It's all that stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be outstanding.
I mean, I'm there, right? Like I'm involved with this, and to me, it's knowing these guys are going to square up again and you know, trade hands. I'm excited just to watch them do it again because it's like I thought WrestleMania was incredible. I'm looking forward to this.
Now, you're part of this group with Edge called Judgment Day, and I love it because you go back to the old pay-per-view posters. There's a poster of Edge on a Judgment Day, and obviously he's weighing the scales, and you guys are bringing that into your group here. But could we see more members join Judgment Day? I know people online are saying that someone named Rhea Ripley joins this group. So could we see more members?
So yeah, we see the stuff, we hear it, and it's funny, and we kind of have fun with it too. And you know, we'll either say stuff or try to kind of allude to things just to stir the pot. Everything's a possibility. You know, right now we're obviously focused on what we're doing, just he and I. You know, we are Judgment Day, so that's the focus, right? But we're not closed off as to potential something that can work, something that can be good, and whether it's having people align themselves with us, you know, whether it's Damian Priest the first of many, or is it this is the plan? It's just Edge and I are just going to wreak havoc and destroy everybody in the company. They both sound good to me. You know, if anything, adding more people would probably make my job even easier, you know, where I don't have to work as hard. You know, I have people helping me out. We could, you know, kind of spread out the love a little bit, you know, that beatdown love. So we're all for it. So the possibilities are 100% there. Yes. Is there anything etched in stone? Absolutely not. You know, I think we're still, you know, this Judgment Day, we're still in our infancy. You know, we just started, you know, so there's a lot of it that we know what we want to do as far as like the reasoning, the vibe and everything. Now what comes is like, what exactly, how are we going to do this? And that's still touch and go. Like we're still, you know, kind of figuring it out. But with someone like Edge and his brain and his willingness to kind of just talk to me and see where I'm at and willing to listen to my creativity, and then the company as well, working with us, letting us kind of, you know, drive. This is so cool.
Yeah. It's outstanding. It brings back vibes of the Brood and the Ministry of Darkness, and I think people love those groups. On their deathbed, they'll say, "I love the Brood. I love Ministry of Darkness." Yeah. So this is something like that.
Exactly, it's super cool. He was obviously involved with those groups. I was a huge fan of those groups. So like now it's like, well, let's take the best aspects of everything and let's do it our way, which is what we're doing. We're not. Like people say they're evil. Well, that's an opinion, and that's fine. But we're not going out there purposely to just be evil guys. We're just putting out all the aspects of everything we love and everything that we feel it works for us. You know, the supernatural aspect, it's not that. It's us just kind of messing with people. Just like, we know what you think. You know, Edge said in his promos, like we know we're very in tune to what's happening. We're listening to what people are saying, and then we're using it to our advantage. Like what Edge said about the lights, the purple lights, and like, oh, it's just like Undertaker, their ministry, you know, 2.0. It's like, no, we're doing it on purpose so that you can say that. And then us laugh about it. You know, it's a lot of that stuff, but it's also at the same time, it's cool because we like it. You know, when I had that purple light on me and I didn't even know what it was going to look like. And then I looked back, I looked like a demon or something. I thought that was so cool. Like I looked back and I was like, I even called him because Edge wasn't there that day. And I was like, did you see that? He goes, yeah. And I was like, yeah, that looks wild. And I was like, and he goes, I thought it looked cool. And I was like, so did I. I was like, it wasn't even what I was going for, you know, but we'll go with it and we'll use it to, you know, just roast some people with stuff that think they know more than they do. So we're having a blast. I'm not going to lie. We're literally going in laughing most of throughout the day, just thinking of ridiculous ideas and what we want to do. But at the end of the day, we're just going to be who we want to be, like for us, and let that, you know, show out, and hopefully the crowd can, you know, invest in it.
Well, recently on an episode of Raw, Edge and you were coming down, but Edge was sitting in his throne, and I'm watching it. And I'm like, is that throne moving? And I was like, oh my God, he has a motorized throne. And now I'm thinking, I know, Damon, you work there, so talk to WWEshop.com, because if you sold motorized thrones on that website, people would buy them. Seriously.
Well, I'll tell you who the first one to buy it. I get one.
I swear, if they were selling those Undertaker thrones back in the Ministry of Darkness, people would have had them in their living rooms. And I think this motorized thing, people going to the mall, the movies down the street, just motorizing through the neighborhood, and an Edge throne, I think people will be interested.
I'd be down. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like
bad
it.
ideas up in here, I don't think. Now let's talk about something, because your entire United States Championship run is on Peacock, so you can watch that. Great app. But you held the title for 191 days. That's the longest reign since Dean Ambrose had it in 2013. 2013! That's amazing. But what is the next championship that you want to grab onto?
Good question. Yeah, that title run was, looking back now, and it wasn't even that long ago, but now it sets in like what happened. You know what I mean? Like it was the amount of days. It was defending that title every week, or just about. It was the caliber of people that I defended it against. You know, it was how many former world champs. You know, like it's insane. And then now it's like, so what title now? Edge and I have talked about this, and I know he's alluded to it in some of his verbiage in our promos, which is, we want them all. We want every title. And, you know, obviously the build is always the story, right? So you don't want to start at the top. You got to get there. So it's easy to say, yeah, I want Roman. You know, I want the main ones, but I want them all, because I feel like that's something that, you know, with my saying, you know, the live forever thing, you know, that's something that now the name Damian Priest, especially now aligned with Edge, that's something that's going to live forever. We have captured just about every piece of gold in this company. That's what we want. We want them all. So which one's next? I don't know. It's whichever one presents itself as like, well, this is the one right now, you know, but we're coming for all of them. And that's not a storyline comment. Like Edge and I have talked privately. We want all the titles, like, or, you know, we'd be involved around them. We want everything we do to be that important, to championship caliber importance. And I just don't see how anything's going to stop us.
I would love to see Judgment Day versus the Bloodline at some point in the future. I think that would be a amazing storyline that people would grab onto. And you know, we got pay-per-views coming up. You know, why not do that? But other people are returning to the WWE recently. Cody Rhodes is back in the WWE, and everyone was so happy to see him come home. Now, do you have anybody else in mind who's no longer in the WWE you'd like to see return to the universe?
I mean, it's countless people, and it'd be sit here with a long list of people that I either met, interacted with, or I'm just a fan of. There's just so many, you know, out there, and people that I wish I could get in the ring with, like an RVD. You know what I mean? Like, that's an easy one for me. Like, I see him at the Hall of Fame and saying what's up to him, and I was like, man, you want to come back for a little bit? Let's have some matches. That'd be cool. You know. Obviously those are easy ones, you know, and you know, obviously you got guys on the contracts in different places. So for me, it's always it's exciting to know that there's always a possibility of, and you get reminded when someone like Cody comes back, and it's like you get reminded like, oh man, there's no one way of this, working, the way this business is. Like everything's a possibility. So when you see that, it's like, oh, can we get more returns and more guys, like when your deals are up somewhere else, or maybe you just haven't done anything in a minute, just come back and let's do some business. It's exciting. And I think Cody returning kind of reminds everybody of that aspect of, number one, you never know. This business is very much, it's all about entertaining, and that's always takes precedent. And like, no matter what has happened in the past, if business is right for the sake of our fans and entertainment, that's right business. So the possibilities are endless for me, as far as like somebody who could think, well, man, so many people can return and I can have moments with all these people, and it's exciting. So I love that I'm able to work for like here now, and I experienced this, even just watching, for instance, at Mania, just watching it happen, like that was cool. Like I thought it was cool. As a fan, I was like, that's so cool,
I would love to see Rob Van Dam come back. That would be nice. That would be nice. Him and Montez Ford in the Frog Splash contest. Would have to see how that would go down. But
I just throw this one out because I saw him at Mania. We talked about it. X-Pac, I was like, you're looking kind of good these days. And he laughed, and I was like, so you're saying there's a chance?
Man, Dumb and Dumber never has been quoted more in an entire life span of the nose. He's saying there's a chance.
Exactly.
That is amazing. Now, you teamed up with Bad Bunny at WrestleMania, but are there any celebrities that you'd actually like to take on one-on-one?
Oh, take on
the WWE. Oh yeah, no more teaming up. Who you know?
Oof. I mean, yeah, all of them, but
all of them.
But there's some that and it's because I think they're cool. I would love to like expect and take them on, and it's always even better like when you have somebody that's really cool, really popular, and then you beat them up. It's just awesome. So like someone like, let's say, Jason Momoa, as Aquaman, like the dude is cool. Like you see him, the swag on screen, like in the movies or like at award shows, he's super cool. I'd love to beat him up. But I'm a huge fan of his. Yeah. but this is what we do, I beat up a lot of my friends. This is what we do. So for me, that he's up there just because I'm a big fan, and I dig his vibe. Like I'm like, yeah, that's the guy. I want to beat him up.
I think that would be a hell of a match. Let's get that going. Hopefully he's watching right now. Now, at last year's WrestleMania, we mentioned, Bad Bunny, you guys teamed up in, I think, one of the greatest celebrity matches of all time. I think so. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, me too.
Good. Humble. But yet we had no Damian Priest match at this WrestleMania. And did you feel disappointed? But at the same time, you were involved with Edge, AJ Styles, and that started the whole entire Judgment Day. So really, no match, but it started a whole new part of your career. So were you disappointed at all?
So I'd be lying if I say I wasn't disappointed. Of course, this is what we work for all year round, is to have these, you want to have this incredible match at WrestleMania, right? Like, look what I did last year, my first one. But on the flip side, the point, the purpose, what we do, moments. And I got that. I had a WrestleMania moment. I put my hands up standing next to Edge in the ring at WrestleMania in front of 70 whatever thousand amount of people that were there live, and all these millions of people watching at home. That moment while I was in the ring, and matter of fact, while we were walking up the ramp, I said to him, I was like, this is incredible. I was absorbing every second of it. So yes, while I wish I could have a match, the point is the moment, and I got it. And it was probably a bigger moment than if I would have just had a random match. Win or lose is one thing, but this lives on, right? Like this was the start. Like we're gonna look back when whatever we accomplish at Judgment Day is done. This was the start. It was. So when was it that this happened? WrestleMania, you can never forget that, and nobody could ever take that away from me or him. So this is it was important. But we've used it because it's real. Like Edge said it, you know, in his verbiage in his promo, where it was like, how do you go from being one of the top promoted matches and then not even being on the card? Like, this is why we have an issue, and this is what we're doing now. You know what I mean? And so we're using real stuff, but at the same time, again, that moment meant the world to me. So I'm not disappointed, put it that way. Like, of course, in me, I'm a competitor, and I want that. I want to prove myself. So I want a match to prove myself. But the moment is the point, and I got it. So it's amazing. I got a moment.
You brought up a really good point, though. Like, if you had a one-on-one match, it would have been great. But would people go, oh, I remember that? But they will always remember the day that Judgment Day was born. And from there, even whatever happens in the future, 5 years, 10 years from now, there's going to be a moment where someone now discovers WWE and goes back and says, oh, wait, Damian Priest was with Edge? And then they're going to go back. Oh, it happened on this date. Like, that's historic LB forever versus a one-on-one match that people would watch WrestleMania, enjoy it, but it wouldn't be part of history forever. I think, like you said, you and Edge out there together, creating Judgment Day really set the tone for what's going to happen next. So I can understand the disappointment of a no match, but at the same time, you've created a moment, and that's what it's all about.
It means so much more.
Yes. One more question, though. So you've mentioned so many things. What are your goals for this year?
Ooh, I mean, it goes on par with what we're talking about. Like, I want it all, man. Like, so far, like, Edge and I are on this roll, and we're just starting, and it just feels like our momentum is just gonna, like, we can feel it. Like, we're just gonna keep rolling upwards. Like, and goal is to keep that going, like, where we don't feel complacent or stale. Like, the goal is to just be at the top of the mountain. When it comes to Monday Night Raw, I want, when you look at the posters and the billboards, it's Judgment Day. That's the goal right now. It's Monday Night Judgment Day. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we want. And that's, of course, personal accolades are great, winning titles and, being a part of certain pay-per-views and traveling overseas for certain events. All of it, great. Yes, of course, that we want that. But when you think of Raw, you think Judgment Day, that's the goal. Like, that's where we want to get to. When you think of SmackDown and you think of Bloodline, you think of Roman, that's where we need to get to. That we need to be that for our brand. And obviously that's what everybody wants. But I feel like more closer than ever, like, this is extremely achievable right now, you know. And, if we stay the course and just continue the way we are, which is very much in tune and communicating and think of every week as what's the best way out of this? Like, how do we come out the best? How do we make this the best? And there's a lot of communication there. And as long as we keep doing that, I don't see why this goal of being, like I said, Monday Night Judgment Day being a thing, I don't see why it wouldn't. So that's the immediate goal.
Well, I will definitely buy that shirt. Damian Priest, thank you so much. And again, talk to WWEshop.com and get those motorized Edge thrones out there now. And people will buy them, and they will. Just saying.
Yeah, we got two ideas now, the shirt and the throne. I mean, let's make some money.
I don't think I make any money, but you do. And so does the WWE. Remember, folks, WrestleMania Backlash will be on Peacock May 8th, Mother's Day. So that's a great present for your mom. Let's sit down and watch Edge and AJ Styles tear it up. Damian Priest, thank you so much for being here on NBC's 10 Count. I've been Steve Fall. Have a wonderful day, because I had a wonderful day talking to Damian Priest. Have a good one, folks. Bye.